So we got a challenge for y'all. Number one, welcome to the Justice League. And number two, got to find a name for my man Cleveland. Now, Cleveland, are you cool with either Pew Hefner or
Lil Saint?
Lil Saint?
Like Pew Hefner got to be out of here, yo. I can't.
Pulpit
Papi?
Like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man.
Pulpit Papi?
Pulpit Papi.
I kind of
It's like it's your alter ego, low key. It's like your
Pew Hefner.
You see the SchoolBoy Pew? AJ just
School
put that in there.
I like that.
I could have just took all that shine just now, but I'm gonna give it to AJ. I seen it come through.
Oh my God.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 20 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Hubbies and the Possible. I am your host, Varstenio Hall. I'm here with Moneybag Yo. Got my man KV the Abstract. You got my man CE Zo.
Shit.
Got my man Bill.
I'm in the building.
My man Bill from Williamstown, New Jersey. What's going on?
We gotta do better than Bill though, bro. We gotta do something. Bill is just
Bill,
I
wouldn't. I definitely vote Bill out.
Sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yo,
Can y'all give him some street cred and give him a name?
Because when I hear Bill, all I hear is like damn, never mind.
Don't
That's
say
like Bob
Cosby.
the Builder, not Bill.
I said don't say Cosby.
I was gonna say Bob, but it's Bill.
I just think it's
two
white
different
bald
people.
Man.
Yo, man, if I don't get a nickname by the end of this episode, I'm
Little
definitely
Bill. There we go. That's what I was thinking of.
Little
There you
Bill.
go.
Remember that? Flyer?
Yes, the little Bill. No, that's what. Interestingly enough, speaking of names, we have found a name for you all. We have found a name for y'all, and you are now drum roll. Can I get a drum roll from somebody? You are now the Justice League.
Woo!
Get it?
Hands of the
JUXTICE.
Justice League.
Justice
See what we
League.
did there. See what we did there.
Yo, Cleveland, I got a name for you too.
Justice League.
Justice League. I need y'all to vote a name for Cleveland.
Please.
That's our first challenge to y'all.
There you go.
I got Pew Hefner for
What?
I don't know if that's a good or bad, but it got a little bit of
Ezekiel bread.
Lil Saint, Lil
Ezekiel
Sinner.
bread.
Yeah, there you go.
Little Saint, Little
sprinkle.
Sinner.
There you go.
Lil Saint.
I was
Lil
about to
Saint
say
from You Got Served. You Lil Saint.
Served.
Do it for Lil Saint.
We doing it for Lil Saint.
That was
Hashtag
my
Lil
movie.
Saint.
Hashtag
that was
Lil Saint.
everybody's
Hashtag
movie.
Pew
I didn't
Hefner.
realize that movie was bad until later on in life.
Yeah, it was
Till you see him dancing in the rain with those choreographed moves.
Doing the Omarion.
But that was probably the best scene though.
The best and the worst at the same time.
So y'all gotta help us. Is it Pew Hefner? Is it Bill? Is it Lil Saint?
Pure
Let us
Hef
know.
Pure Hef has a ring to it. I'm not gonna lie.
Pew Hefner.
Pure
Yo, that's it.
that's
Pew
wild.
Hefner.
Pure. I'm not saying that. I just think as a fly.
Hold on.
Kev trying to
K-
reduce his hell points.
Pure Hefner, yeah, right? I'm trying to go.
KKK. KKA. Pew pew. That's it. Pew pew.
Hey, but I don't
So-
like the abstract though. The abstract, that's. I get why you put the
But nah,
abstract.
so now it's on you. You gotta now we gotta
I already told y'all, man. The streets call me Chef, man. They call me Chef KV. They nasty and they want the magic sauce.
okay. Oh, we got the chef. We got the chef in the building.
Chef, I'm telling you, Chef, bro.
All right, bet. We all good. We got.
You better make sure
Moneybag
that's not trademarked by Raekwon.
But it's the chef for short. It's Chef KV. It's
Mhm.
on paper, we Chef KV in, but
I'm with it.
for short. So we got CE Zo, we
Shit.
got Moneybag Yo, we got the chef, and we got Pew Hefner, my man.
Yeah.
Pulpit.
Oh,
Now we're gonna put it in the air, but Cleve gotta get some fire though, because Cleve low key like the golden child. He like if y'all ever watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We were talking about this person. You actually didn't like Brand. He didn't like being called Brand.
I thought Brand was a weak king. I thought he was a weak king choice.
So we got a challenge for y'all. Number one, welcome to the Justice League, and number two, got to find a name for my man Cleveland.
Could we put one of those surveys out? Like what's the ones with like the little surveys and
you got do it on the gram bar with this audio, and then you put the two names next to it. Have them vote.
All right, got you.
And the vote.
Let the people decide. Now, Cleveland, are you cool with either Pew Hefner or
Lil Saint?
Lil Saint?
Like Pew Hefner gotta be out of here, yo. I can't.
Pulpit Papi,
like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man.
Pulpit Papi.
I kind of
it's your alter ego, low key. It's like pure.
Pew Hefner.
You see the Schoolboy Pew? AJ just put that in there.
I like that.
I could have just took all that shine just now, but I'm gonna give it to AJ. I seen it come through.
Oh my God. Schoolboy Pew is fun.
That's hilarious. See, add that one too. We need a 4. We can't just have 2. We need like an A, B, C, or D. Like which one?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I'm partial to Pulpit Papi.
I like that too, yeah. I like that.
Pulpit Papi.
He said, yeah.
That's right.
Go on to the question of the week. This is inspired by a true story, and I wanted some support from y'all. I wanted to ask you one question. Just give me, it's one question, and it's one or the other answer. I don't want the sometimes. Y'all ready?
Okay.
So, AAA or change your own tire.
AAA all the way.
James says AAA. Cleveland, what say you?
I changed my own tire. I want to wait 45 minutes for
AAA. Say no more. KV, how about you?
I'm gonna say situational because I had the option.
If it's raining or it's 10 degrees, nah, nigga.
Sure, AAA.
Call him.
All right, AAA.
Yeah,
All right,
it's 10 degrees. I'm not going outside. Y'all gonna come here. I'm gonna sit in this heat. But 90% of the time, I'll change my own tire.
Okay, so we got. What do we got?
Var, you know that we had an experience together like that.
I mean,
it's a time. It's gonna take them longer to get to you. By the time I can just get it done,
right.
So it's like time.
No, that's a fact. I'm also AAA connoisseur myself.
Yeah.
So when I get to my my recap of the weekend, you'll understand why. Okay. But I wanted to see what we're dealing with here. You know what I mean? What kind of men we got?
Well, I will tell you this though: that changing your own tire thing all sounds good until you get the last lug nut and it don't come off because somebody had the drill and then you be stuck. That I ain't gonna lie to you. I need one of them like portable, because that's annoying as hell.
But that's why I'm AAA, man. Because the joints they give you inside
they got
the car,
stuff.
It's in there, but it's terrible, man.
Yeah,
it's so hard to use. It's hard to get those lug nuts off with it. Listen, call AAA. Make your life
roadside, whatever your cell phone,
whatever it is,
whatever your pull up of choice.
Pull up of choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it, definitely use it. I'm not saying not to. It just depends. Some days just may not have too much going on. You just feel like, you know what? Right. I'm not gonna waste 90 minutes waiting to hear.
Exactly.
Because AAA be disrespectful, like Kev said. They be like, "Yo, we'll be there between 1 and 8." Like what?
Right.
Like, yo,
I could have walked home. I'm gonna leave this.
What
car
are you,
right
Comcast?
Here.
You know Comcast to give you those long. Like, we'll be there between Tuesday and Friday. Like, what are you saying?
So you better stay home.
Yo, it was this one time that I was working in Jersey. This was around this time, actually, like October, November-ish, when like when the weather will expose your tires. Mm-hmm. You know, when the weather is like, oh, you got a slow leak, do you?
Yeah.
So
I was
working till like 6 p.m. In North Jersey, in Morristown, and I walked outside. I'm like, man, my tire flat. So I was like, bet I'm just gonna call AAA, go back upstairs to my office and wait. So I went upstairs. Dude took like an hour. I came outside. He came real disrespectful. He got my donut, put on the tire, and then he was like, yo, how old are you? I was like, yo, I'm like 28. He said, you can't change your tire? I said, no. I said, yeah, I can, but I'm making money to pay for niggas like you to come fix it for me.
Damn.
Good comeback. I'm keeping you a job, nigga. Now shut up. Fix my goddamn tire before
Try
you
to
get
be disrespectful, came right back at him.
Word, that's a good one.
But had I not been who I am, I would have felt a little bad about myself.
Yeah.
That was cold. That was cold. I mean, I feel it because that kind of goes into a big topic, I'm sure, but it goes into that, people push the wrong buttons, and sometimes you might just get bite. You might get bit, So
yeah, that's a fact. And but yeah, I wanted to poll you guys. But we'll talk more about that when I give you my recap of the weekend. So speaking of the weekend, James, starting with you. How was your weekend, bro? How was your week?
Damn. I don't know. I didn't do shit. I'm trying to think of what I did. But I didn't really do much.
Okay.
Children, I just I meal prep. Been eating better.
Oh, that's big.
No, I did.
That's big.
Hey,
it's major.
I did that.
Shout out to James right now.
But besides that, just working and same old stuff.
All right, I'll take it.
Sorry, I was a little plain this week.
It's all good. Everybody like vanilla every now and then.
Yeah.
So how about you?
It was an interesting week. I just chilled, a couple of little things here and there, work wise. I am expanding my business, I guess, how people look at certain parts of my business. So
you changing the uniforms, getting new McDowell uniforms?
I actually am going on sales calls. I shout out to my boy Jordan Diatlo, who put me down with his cousin Jake Eden. Shout out to Jake.
State Farm.
Yeah. So he went out on the road with me. So I have a representative that will be doing my sales who does not look like me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Change the narrative. So that makes he or who, whatever he might be the owner. They don't know who he is, but just lock them in. And then when we get them, it's too late. They locked in. Let's go. So we went on the road. I did a little training, showing him the ropes on, just the lingo, how to do it, walking at this, who you ask for, that kind of deal. We had a discussion as to, where this came from and what it came about. And he's like, all right, what's up? Like, I'm cool with it. Like, it's unfortunate that we got to kind of trick our way into new stuff, but I get it. I'm all for it. So shout out to them. That was like the big thing for my week right there. Cause I was like, I need to do something different. What I'm doing don't seem to be working. So
going secure the business, right? As LNC with Jake. And then when they secure the business, the letterhead gonna say HNIC when they start doing real.
Yo, did y'all
wait?
I know I probably shouldn't bring this up because I can't think of it, but there's a movie like that where people like real estate moguls that was in California at the time, they were black back in the day.
Oh yeah, The Banker.
The Banker. There we go.
The Banker.
That joint, basically the same thing. They got a white face to pretend like he was the owner of the business buying banks in like Texas. And then they found out it was black people who owned it.
Listen, that's what my dad did. Like if y'all just call the house or his voicemail, like you hear the house voicemail or his office voicemail, people think it's like an automated machine. They're like, that's your dad talking like that? I'm like, yo, chill, man, chill.
Yo, it's funny, It's funny.
Yeah,
funny. So. It's funny. That's it's a thing, man. Like, why do we have to preserve our identity to be? I mean, it's crazy, right? Super crazy. Like, they used to like dye their hair and get relaxers.
The slick joints.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They called it conch.
Conch.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's at Detroit, right? Yeah.
It's Malcolm
nastiness.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Nastiness on your head.
It evolved. We call it S curl.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they called it Soul Glow in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's the evolution of the Jerry curl. Coming up next on TV One.
The evolution of gunk, right? Crazy.
Baby, how about you? How was your week, bro?
So week's good, man. Actually, you guys are the highlight. We're the highlight. I feel like we were on our minds all week, and in a great way. Just growth. Growth is abundant in all different ways, and I appreciate it, man. This week was good. We had my mom celebrate my mom's birthday Saturday. which we had a good time.
Hey, shout out to Mom Roulard.
Shout out to Mama V.
Yeah, appreciate it. You know, she retired, so it's kind of like a double whammy for her.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Big time.
Yeah, she checked the deuces. You know what I mean? She works in nursing home care, so it makes sense too, though. Like, it's just a bad time for her to be involved working in a nursing home. That. She's definitely enjoying it. Worked hard, you know. So we was excited for her. You know, it was a good time. It was real tight. But so yeah, that was that Saturday. I saw my little man. I saw my nephew. He was cool, always running around, growing, talking.
Did he challenge you with it again?
Nah, I asked him. He's 3 now, so he talks a little bit. I said, what's he said the word B. I said, okay, give me a word that goes with B. And he said booty. Like, he looked at me, but he looked at me. He looked at me like, should I say it? I'm gonna say it. I'm like, oh, that's all you know. That's all you know. So you only know booty, huh? So you got a lot more work to do, man. So we can talk about all the booty you want to talk about after you're 10.
Damn.
I said, you said like, you focus on the wrong thing right now. So you already messed up.
Word up. That's funny.
So you know, he's a thing though. He's, you know, so other than that, just kind of peeking around, man, moving around, just peeking in different industries, seeing like what people are doing at this time to grow, and like in terms of like just different spaces. Like, what I'm just curious to know, what are people doing? Like, how are they growing? How are they advanced? Have they adjusted? You know, and kind of like just trying to learn that right now. So I'm in a good space for that. So I'm open to hearing. This is considered like a fall break for us. So we got some time on our hands to dibble and dabble in other places right now. Just vibing, you know. Shout out to my big brother Jasper though. So
hey, a new you.
Yeah, shout out to Jasper. You know, so he had a loss, unfortunately, his family, you know. So yeah, so condolences to him. So but other than that, everything's great. You know, everyone's kind of enjoying it, their life and where they are, and they're growing, learning, their growths around, you know, amongst me, wife, family. Everyone's kind of like growing into their new roles in life. Everyone's kind of like coming of that, you know. It's the season of people coming into their new roles, and you know,
people out here changing colors like leaves, like Cleveland was saying a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I felt that, and I appreciate that, you know, so much so. So that's all I got.
But how about you, Pulpit Papi?
You have
my week's been cool. I got a chance to relax over the weekend. I did a lot. Work has been crazy. Like, my 9 to 5 has been crazy. Been working like 10, 11, sometimes 12-hour days to get things done. But over the weekend, I got to chill. I watched Boomerang the other day. That was a highlight. And it's funny because I watched Boomerang the other day, and then I worked out with Gabe, my trainer, our line brother. And he was like, yo, I just saw Boomerang for the first time.
Oh, my
God. For the first time.
Oh, you done turned them loose now. Uh-oh.
Yo, but why he didn't finish it? Because he was like, yeah, man, like, I wonder if Eddie Murphy got with Robin Givens. I'm like, bro, did you fall asleep in the beginning of the movie?
I know. Like, what type of...
I'm like, oh, man.
I don't know. Get him some braids.
He got to finish it.
You think better?
Braids, but he got to finish it. But yeah, man, so that was nice. So I just been...
That was nice.
Well, it was nice because it was like, that was like a relaxing point of the week. Like, watching that movie, I could just unplug and just like pretend what my life would be like if I was Marcus in real life.
Oh, that's my guy. Marcus Graham is my guy.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Yo, I feel like I'm the opposite. Usually, it was 2 weeks ago. I couldn't even remember what I did this past weekend, but this weekend was spent. I was out every day. Mm-hmm. It was Tiff's birthday, so her birthday was on Monday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Her birthday was Monday, so you know everybody been locked in the house for months. So I'm in Alameda County, but where San Jose is Santa Clara County. They're open in quotes. So like they're opening restaurants, small capacity, X, Y, and Z. So Friday we went out for drinks and had some food. Saturday we went to brunch and then went down to Santa Cruz to the beach. They had like a sunset beach picnic, which was cool. And then Sunday went to San Francisco and had like a rooftop dinner. And it was just cool to kind of get out Stop it. It was cool to get out.
You heard it, James?
See what I mean? I'm telling you, man.
Make it rain.
Sunset dinner on the beach. You know
did you bring the candles?
I brought the picnic
don't even need to
basket.
go on vacation.
No, this is
He live on
this is a good
vacation.
bar right here, man. This is the romantic Don Juan. I got a
Thank you,
bag.
Kevin.
I'm gonna show you a good time. I know my value. This is a whole different edition of VAR.
Thank you, Kevin.
You know?
Nah. VAR had he used to flex. The finance was a little different. Remember VAR? Remember when we was like the Walmart, the Valentine's, like come on,
yeah, we always had it in
paper
us.
plates.
Yeah,
had a budget of like $15. Who's gonna make it work?
He used to do origami with the napkins and shit.
I respect.
And now he popped out the bottle of Ace of Spades.
Yeah, you
for
know,
her
it's
birthday,
a whole different VAR.
Yeah, he went from Andre to Ace of Spades. There you go.
No, I went from Andre to Corbell. That's only one shelf difference. That's only one shelf.
Might be two if they did their job.
That Andre, you get a headache when you open the bottle.
Yo, son, the Andre extra dry is extra trash.
Terrible.
Yo, but what I wanted to talk to y'all about around AAA or changing your tires, because Friday night we went out. It was more of a spontaneous thing. So we went out, parked the car in the parking garage, and then we went and had dinner and came back. So I come to my car, and I'm like, oh, my back tire's flat. All right, bet. I'm automatically going to AAA, bro. It's like I'm not even sweating. Let me just call them right now.
Yeah.
We in the safe spot. We cool. So
I hope this story don't go where I think it's going.
Nah, it's actually a really happy ending. So
I mean, I bet you was out for dinner that night.
Yeah, absolutely right. No, I'm joking. But so Tiffany says something so profound yet so simple. She's like, "You calling AAA?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why don't you just put air in the tire?"
What?
I'm like, the nearest spot like 5 minutes away. Now my drive home is like a half hour. So I'm thinking the worst case scenario. I'm thinking like it's punctured. It's not, it got to be fixed in the morning, X, Y, and Z. She's like, no, just put some air in the tire. I was like, all right, well, worst case scenario, we get there and it don't make it. We'll pull over to the side of the road, call AAA, whatever. Bro, I drove 5 minutes cautiously, put air in that tire. That tire got us home and was full when I parked in my house a half hour later. I was like, I would have never thought to just put air in my tire.
Bro, nah. I thought you was gonna say. Tiff said, "Man, if you don't put that phone away and got out and changed the tire," that's what I thought you was going with it.
Whoa! She didn't change the tire.
Yeah, I thought
do you think I would have shared that story on this platform?
Probably not.
Hey, man,
I was tripping.
That's when you gotta take with you.
Yo,
like, damn, bro.
I would have been out of here.
Like, yo, move out the way.
Like you six what?
Yeah.
Word up.
That would be crazy.
All that height. So they would have killed you with that. All that height.
Oh man, that's the word.
Yo, so it doesn't always result in you changing your tires. So just thinking outside the box or just regularly, like.
Oh yeah, I was astonished at how simple the solution was.
That's crazy.
So that's why you need that balance. You need that balance in your life. I promise you, my wife is the same way. She'll say something that seems like so obvious, but I just didn't think of it from that angle. Like, you know what I mean? You need that.
Like, true.
Minutes for somebody to come.
Speaking of, I was also a guest on their podcast, Let's Figure It Out podcast last week that released today. And the topic was around what do men have to say to women in terms of being better prepared for relationships. I started the whole conversation like, I am not one to tell black women what to do.
Yeah, like what type of setup question?
Like, I want to preface this.
Setup.
They were genuine, but I had to put that out there. Like, Travaris, I am in no way telling y'all what to do.
Even when you said the question, it ain't sit right. Like, wait, what?
I mean, they might have been more eloquent, but I say that to say, if y'all listening to this, go take a listen to the Let's Figure It Out podcast, LFIO, and it's a good listen. So going over to Alonzo, aka CE Zo, for Zo Knows.
Yes, y'all. So here we go. CE Zo got the news for y'all. First thing
every week, Zoe got a little rap. He got a little diddly
about the freestyle
every week.
I was like, nah, chill. Y'all ain't ready for that. My skills a little rusty. Ice Cube's contract for Black America. That was a big topic this week. I want to know how you guys feel.
I feel like it didn't happen like when we stopped recording. Like I feel like after our last episode, it just blew up. Like
yeah, so he's been talking about it for maybe like a week or maybe 2 weeks now, right? A little over 2 weeks. But what transpired was that he approached both parties, Democratic and Republican Party, about this contract, right? And they both quote unquote have an agenda for Black America, but he spoke to like a Trump advisor or something like that. I don't think he didn't speak to Donald Trump directly.
He didn't.
You know, that's what he said. But as they do, the Trump folks, they ran with it and they said that he endorsed them and he agrees, and that then Trump came up with this platinum plan, which to me is racist in itself. Is you're gonna put Black people and put platinum, like, all right, you heard that
so
somewhere in one rap
bro.
song, and then now you want to use the word platinum, and then it was just an all out like mess because then people start hounding on Ice Cube. Who are you? You're not qualified, and stick to doing. It's just really weird. I was indifferent about it. Like, I think he didn't go full throttle, but then the more he tells, like, yo, I did this, I asked. People think he just went in there by himself, like he didn't have any help, he didn't talk.
That's the thing. That's the thing. People, I'll say this with the ultimate respect. This is not to the Justice League at all. People are fucking dumb, bro. That's just what it is. People don't take the time, and to I think we're in a soundbite era, which is a little different. So people will read a headline and equate, but we don't allow people to grow or to modify these days. It's like we don't leave no room for growth. And if it's just to be assumed that whatever the headlines say is the truth, and nobody goes to do any extra steps. And I always say, like, you can't really go around canceling people because at any moment that could be you. Any moment.
I hate the question like who are you? Why you qualify? You speaking like that's part of growth. Like just because I did something in 1980, whatever, or not even did anything, like that was my career. But so I don't have a personal opinion. I don't have like a feeling. I'm not Black. Like, you know what I mean? So it was very weird.
Only that, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, if you do or if you don't, like you're wrong. Like it's like we rely on the people within our community that have made it, quote unquote, or those that have had some level of success. We expect them to speak out on our behalf. But then if they go too far, it's like, well, you can't do that. Like you should have called somebody else to do X, Y, and Z. Like we can't have it both ways. Like either we're going to have people who speak on our behalf and like run with it, or we're not. Like that's one of those things. And then everyone is headline happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tavar's point, like that. Ice Cube is endorsing Trump and they just run with it. It's like, well, wait, like, let's figure out what really happened and what's really going on. That's what I hate, man. That's why I got to break from social media sometimes.
I just get mad at celebrities when they start going in on the person. And like you could call him, like y'all.
I was disappointed in seeing DL Hughley had something to say about Ice Cube. I was getting at. Yeah. I love DL, yo.
Me too. I have a lot of respect. But I just felt like, yo, you didn't even read. You just read. He did exactly that. Read the headline, heard something. Like you didn't call him. Like ain't y'all from the same area or something like that? Like you. What you gonna say, KV?
No, I'm listening. I don't want to interrupt. I did also recognize that that you guys do feel, and to Zoe's point, I didn't want Zoe to get cut off, but I do feel like my biggest thing about it is celebrities aren't experts in everything because they're celebrities, right? So they're just like human beings, like us, essentially, like we all are, but with just more money, essentially, and a little bit more Instagram followers now these days. You feel what I'm saying? And that's
a little bit,
just a little bit, right? And that's really what that is. So I'm not mad at DL because DL is a profound individual, but was he wrong for doing that publicly? Maybe. I think we're at a bad time for us to kind of nitpick at what we don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think that's what that is. But I do recognize that that's just my breakup. I just wanted to mention like celebrities aren't experts in my opinion. So I don't hold them accountable to speak for us. I want experts who speak on our behalf of policy, and experts who speak on behalf of health. I want an expert to speak on our behalf of. We should be deeming these individuals as the gold standard for us to represent us in these different sectors. So that's representation within itself, and that's some type of extension without maybe policy, maybe without getting the legislating process involved too much, right? Maybe that's something we can create within our own culture, possibly, right? I mean, so that's something to consider and think about. If anyone's a listener in the Justice League that can make that happen, if there's anyone who want to see that to me.
And I agree with Kev on that, but I also everything I feel like sometimes it's situational, right? So obviously who you're dealing with makes a difference, right? So the person who he was dealing with, we have all those experts, and I feel like if that person asked those experts and they're behind him, holding him up, I don't see there's anything wrong with that either. Like if I talk to all these experts that people list and I talk to the black mayor and this person, y'all don't know that, y'all didn't ask me, but they might have pumped him like, yo, dealing with Trump, he gonna pay attention to you, or that on some stuff. He not. We've been knocking on the door for 20 years and nobody cares.
But it's like the narrative is always wrong. Just like I think about Kaepernick, right? They can hijack the narrative whenever they want, and just like Ice Cube, one of the first things that I read was that he went to both parties, but that's not the thing that's being reported. And that's the thing that's like, if it's anything, I just want us. I'm asking for a lot. I just want us to do an extra step when it comes to us. That's all.
He's that. I don't control, but I heard him actually speak on this actually matter. He pretty much kind of have a plan, and his plan is universal to each party. It's a bipartisanship, right? It doesn't necessarily matter who's really in office, because quite frankly, we have to plan for both, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's his plan. His plan is to go in either direction, and
which is smart.
Which is it's very smart, right? I think Di was wrong because he didn't understand that, and that's where he shouldn't have really poked his nose without really hitting him up to say, hey, what's like that's the thing. Right? I think with us, we always gotta be conscious about our agenda. We gotta be on the same plan, same page. Like we seldomly forget it, even from a DL's perspective, who is at that level with with Ice Cube, maybe a little lower, maybe realistically, because I know Ice Cube doing some other things. He still should be able to have a conversation with him and be able to talk to him about that. That shouldn't have to have been social media. Yeah, like for sure. Like not at this point. That's my main
thing. I agree with Kev. Like, yo, some stuff's supposed to be in-house. Yeah, I mean, we do too much bickering, fighting all the time in public, and that just throws me off. Whether he's wrong or not, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. Maybe the time is wrong, but like, could we just have that conversation, please, without like everybody else knowing about it?
Well, I don't think that Ice Cube is necessarily like what he did, and his vision is right. Like someone in his statue, someone with his platform is speaking out for Black people in Black America. So his contract for Black people, I understand that, but I think where a lot of Black people are coming from is that most Black Americans do not trust Trump, period. Right? So the fact that Ice Cube tries to work with him, people know that Trump will use that and try to use it against him, right? Pretend as if he's trying to do something just like his son did and posted that picture with him and 50 Cent wearing Trump hats.
Oh my God.
Which was correct. So people know that stuff like that is going to happen. And they're like, why are you doing that? Because now people are going to start believing some things, right, that Trump or Trump parties or Trump followers are going to start saying and spreading. And it's just going to bring people maybe potentially takes a step back for Black America because they don't believe Trump will do anything, period. No matter what Ice Cube try to do, they're just going to use him, right, because he's Black to try to get more Black votes. I think that's where people was coming from.
And also that, like, there are some people feel that the Ice Cube's plan is already kind of been done already, or it's not been done, but it's out. That plan is out, and there's people already on the ground laying groundwork, and maybe that
part of it is already on Biden's website. Like a lot of stuff that he have in his contract is already on Biden's website, saying that's what he wants to do for Black America. Yeah,
and people have been working on that for years before there's groundwork people. So a lot of people feel like he jumped over the groundwork people and just went and did this.
I mean, I think that's the thing about celebrities. I think that what ends up happening is you have a viewpoint that is your viewpoint only, and you kind of think that everybody's going to go along with it because it makes sense to you. But Kev said this too, like, give it to the experts. I'm sure this contract to Black Americans would have been amazing had it came from a different person. Not to say it can't come from Ice Cube, but people can find a way to try to discount you based on.
But who would
like, how does he become the spokesperson of Black people in America?
Yeah. I'll just this be my closing. I think in real time, that's a need for our community. I would love to see like a Barack to take that role in terms of his relationship he's been able to establish in high power and his management skill level and what he understands. He would be my first draft pick if I could choose somebody out there right now. It would be
plus
Barack.
one, Kevin. Plus
one. No, that's a good one. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on those notes, those news, and pay attention to what's real and what's fake. Read some more. Look at interviews that he's doing, Ice Cube's doing, and get the source straight from him. That's my advice to everyone else. Like Var said, take the extra step. Next, an interesting topic of the week. I don't know if y'all heard about the guy Jeffrey Toobin, who was suspended from the New Yorker.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
My God. For Toobin.
A man was nude.
Yeah. They say he was in the process of like rubbing one out or doing something in the effect of while he was on the Zoom call, and he thought he logged off, or he thought he like closed the screen or whatever. Maybe he thought like, if I don't close it, it'll just like go to sleep. But people saw him, playing,
lacing them up.
Yeah, playing pool.
Lacing them up and laying it down. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, like, why even take the chance? Why even risk?
That's how I think he got off on
that.
He got off on that, bro. You have to, because you're wilding. Like, you mean to tell me you got that much of a problem or addiction that you like the call like that?
Yeah, when CNN said that they let him take some personal time.
Yeah, he was doing that during a Zoom call, wasn't that?
That's great. Wow.
You got your personal time, bro.
Seriously.
Yo, I feel like when these things get like released, pause.
No pun intended.
You kind of realize that white boys have the weirdest names for like jerking off, son. Like I was watching Hot 97 and Rosenberg says something about a dolphin. I'm like, I've never even heard
dolphin.
I never heard of that. Yeah, they
like, what is this?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Moving along. Make sure all y'all log out of Zoom. Don't be walking past the screen naked in front of your kids, teachers in the class, and all that other wild stuff that's going on. So please be Zoom safe. And it's
crazy.
Yeah, walk away into another room or something like that. That's my advice. But yeah, that was a crazy story. People just out of control nowadays. I feel like if you just he probably ain't had no more sick days, so he's like, I need something to get off. Like,
how did he know he got caught? Like, did someone say something? Did he
happen? I think they did say something.
Oh shit!
I was about to say, what was
my man?
What was his reaction when he got cut?
No, it's like Jeff.
Yeah. Yo, my man, that's crazy. But anyway, and lastly on the news, I just want to get everybody's mind right back to tomorrow. It's supposed to be some debates, and they're supposed to be cutting people mics off. So they're supposed to be hitting them like the
about time,
like the Apollo or the way they do the awards shows and play the music or something like that. So
Sandman.
Yeah, they Sandman them. We'll see how that happens. I think your man gonna try to overtalk the mic and just step aside, move through the glass. He gonna do some wild mess. But pay attention tomorrow. It's the last debates before the next 2 weeks. And vote.
Yes.
Oh, early.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
I just got my ballot today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where I'm like, this is crazy, but I'm getting them joints out tomorrow though.
Yeah,
but you got it.
My grandfather
got it.
92 years.
Yeah, I seen a picture.
Yeah, he ain't playing.
So thanks though for Zono. So as we go into our topic of today, this topic was birthed out of, Cleveland said he was watching Boomerang this weekend, and we had a conversation earlier this week, and you kind of think about Marcus Graham in Boomerang was essentially that guy. He was what people would consider a womanizer. He had the career. He had all the things, right? And he was riding on the high hog, as the old folks say. And then when he found his kryptonite, he found a woman that he really loved, that he enjoyed, and he was, trying to put all his time into her. It's almost like he got weak and he became the person that he wasn't, and he became vulnerable. And it kind of made me think about like, how many times have we heard nice guys finish last? How many times have y'all heard that?
All the time.
You always hear that. Yeah.
Even if I don't want to say that I do, like I feel like I've had experiences with nice guys would have finishing last stories. I'm like,
Right. And I think that's where we're going. Like, Zoe, do not chime in because I know what you're going to try to do. For everybody else, do you agree with nice guys finish last? And what is your experience with this term as an adolescent going into a young man?
You have to define, because for me anyway, it's all, you got to define what you think a nice guy is.
Are we talking
right? So what's the reason? I know that's what I mean. So it depends on everyone's view.
The context is dating. Yes.
Correct. So everyone's view is going to be different. Yeah. All right. So for me, I look at a nice guy, and the contents of this, especially when it comes to dating, is someone who kind of is not as popular, not as social, right? But if they're going to date someone, they only make sure their entire focus is on that one girl. Will always try to say the right things. Will always do what the girl wants to do. And that feels. So I feel like that's what a nice guy is. And I don't think that person or that guy finishes last. And that doesn't say that's exactly what a nice guy is, because I'm pretty sure we're going to ask this question. I consider myself to be a nice guy. Right?
Depends. Pre-jest? No. Post-jest for sure.
No, even pre-jest, I feel like I was still a pretty nice guy. Because I always treated everyone, nice. And I feel like I did what was right. I'm struggling. You're not making
stuff at all. Yo,
if you was ever wondering,
when you pull out the only word you could think, I treated everybody
nice.
I was just nice.
That's the test. If you ever thought that you were a nice guy, I need you to give me 3 examples. Not y'all, but like at home. If you listen and you like, nah, that didn't go well. Oh, damn, that didn't go well either. Shit.
But listen, I went on a few dates, right, where I did it really, really, really well. So really nice restaurants, picking the girl up, bringing the chocolate covered strawberries and the flowers to the door.
I remember,
so I've done things like that too. So I was an overall nice guy. I'm pretty sure everyone.
But does that make you nice, or is that the setup for the setup?
That is not manipulative. That is a nice guy.
In some circumstances, it could be manipulative, but I think it is. It's so crazy.
So,
I felt like the bars.
It's not your turn yet.
I gotta help him out. I gotta help James out because y'all leaving him out to air dry. Like.
No, we're not leaving out to air dry. I'm just gotta let him figure it out. So how do you? So go ahead. So
I was just gonna say, like, sometimes it's training. We're trained to be proper manners because I think the bar is just so low that people like
that's a fact.
Who do normal like courting is like.
It seems extra.
Nice guy or weak or something. I don't know. Soft. I don't know.
First of all, I like the direction James was going when he was trying to define it. And I think if you're going to define a nice guy, I think it's outside of not being popular. Because I've seen some popular folks be nice guys now. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's all relative.
It is. I think a nice guy doesn't just have a boundary, doesn't have a standard you gotta have a boundary, right? And I don't think nice guys may not, or I don't think they have that. I think that threshold is a little bit wider. So
they could be abused a little bit.
They take it becomes a behavior, right? It becomes a thing of this is who you are, and not necessarily just being nice. It's just this is what you do, and you may one day get tired of it, but it's too late. This is who you are now. And
that's a fact. Your name is food in her phone. It is too late. You are food.
See, that's beyond that. That's just some sucker stuff. You can't there's no way you can just be known as that, because that means you're not getting anything from this person.
Not saying that's the only thing, but I think a nice guy finishing last.
What else could you get, James?
Yeah, see, James.
No, I'm saying no. I'm okay. I'll be straightforward on this. No, seriously. Like if there's a girl who's only using a guy for food, and that guy is allowing that to happen, and he actually wants more from that relationship, then that's a sucker. Like if you know that this person keeps hitting you up, and only thing you're doing is buying this person food, and you actually like this person and you want something more, she's not giving it to you, and you keep doing it.
But most of those guys
I don't agree.
They don't actually like the person. They keep buying food because they think they're gonna get the plate. That's
hold on before we harp on. I want to hear. I want to hear Cleveland on this, because Cleveland, I would define you as a nice guy, but I don't think you were a sucker.
Nah, not at all. I think you have to change the definition of back to the definition of nice. Like nice, like the way that everyone's been describing nice in the context of that phrase, nice guys finish last, is like passive, like overly passive. I think overly passive people finish last, period, because people are going to walk all over you. But like a nice guy, I can't subscribe to the theory that nice guys finish last. I think if you have a balance of setting boundaries, as Kev said, like if you can set boundaries and still be you can't. I don't think there is a last place in that regard. Like she might think that she played you or think that she got you, but at the end of the day, if I stop talking to you, I ain't finished last. Like you finished last.
It ain't motivational moment time. Leave the gems in the bag.
I definitely thought like do we switch segments real quick, like that.
And I think I agree. I agree with a little bit of all of y'all. That's some nonsense. But hear me out. I feel like nice guys do finish last when you are unaware. And if it's unbeknownst to you, if you don't know that you're food in her phone, then like you just going with the flow.
But that's
I know,
that's sucker. You can't.
First of all, I'm not going to. I was always going with it. I'm not going to.
I was always too broke to be called food in anybody's phone. So I know that wasn't me.
I was about to ask you.
You come to out with me. You
stop it, Alonzo. You're going too far.
See what happens? You try to leave me out.
Now, I'm not going to condone what James has to say, because there's a place where you may just enjoy that person's company and you don't mind being that. So yeah, you might be just labeled as food.
Okay,
that's cool for the thing.
I was hungry too.
Idea. Yeah, I mean, you said conversation in a hot meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool for that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If that's what you want, if you know, like you just enjoy the conversation with that person, I get it. But we can poll 100 guys, and I guarantee the majority will say that they're not just looking to have a conversation.
Okay. But I think from Kevin's perspective, Kevin's coming from a power dynamics perspective. Kevin is saying, if I want to be food for you, and
I know
that's what I want, then I'm not a sucker, because I'm making the choice.
Correct. But I'm talking about the ones that want more but keep buying the food.
They're stuck when they're stuck in.
All right.
Yeah, for sure you're full. For sure you're a fool.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about the ones who want more and they keep buying food but they never get it.
That's kind of Cleveland zone.
That's the dude from Boomerang, his friend.
Right. Yeah, David.
Right. Yes. Yes. That's him. That guy.
Yeah.
But like, how do you know? Like, how do you
that guy
that threshold where you're food in the phone? I feel like you got to realize that early on, and that comes through like learning and dating people. Like you kind of understand, like, wait, a couple times I paid a couple times. She only hit me up when she hungry. Like you got to put the pieces.
I'm about to say it should come quick though.
Like I think girls might be hip to it, right? So they might do a little bit, give you a little kiss. Get you to come back a little bit, right?
They definitely dangle.
And they're like, I gotta go home. I'm tired.
Yeah. I enjoyed my night. I think going back to what Cleveland was saying about nice guys being stigmatized, like pushovers and like easily manipulated. Have you all ever been in a position where you could be considered a nice guy?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Alonzo said yes.
Nah, I see y'all. I'm just mean to y'all. Shut up. It's like,
I don't think so.
Nah, like
that is a good point. You with women, you are. I think you would get a bad rap if somebody had to describe you with women. It would be like, oh no, he's probably an asshole, but that's really the opposite.
Yeah, when they meet me, we chill, have fun, whatever the case may be. Like I've been sometimes too nice to where I've actually had to catch, and that's where I become the a-hole, and for like where I'm like, y'all know me, I speak my mind, I say off the cuff, but initially I'm nice, and then if you hit, like James said, like we do something maybe once or twice, and then you hit my phone a third time, but yeah, I just hit you like the week prior or a couple of days, nah, I'm calling you out on it. You thought you had me, huh? Like, sorry.
Gotcha, sucker.
Yeah, like, but again, I was nice to even get to that point. Like, you see what I'm saying? And I've been in a situation where I've let's say seeked an individual for a specific reason, and it was like known to the public about the reason. Okay. They also shared it with the public, so it's like, all right, cool.
Oh wow.
But then when it come to me, like, nah, like I'm just being nice.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can put this in the politically correct terms.
There's none.
There's a woman selling lemonade. No, I'm joking.
When I get there, she ran all the way. It was no more lemonade.
Yeah, like, you know.
Now you want to sell water.
Yeah, right. Might want no damn water.
Yeah, that's not what the advertiser said. That's not what the advertisement said. Like,
it's okay.
So
it's
in terms
fine.
of like being like in that regards of how we define a nice guy, I don't know if I've ever been like that guy. So I guess like in high school, I might have chased somebody maybe for a little too long that didn't want me.
Ergo effect.
I mean, that's a part of the process, though. I don't think that makes you a nice guy. I think it makes you persistent.
Right.
Yeah,
sometimes,
so
like,
I think that's where I learned my persistence from.
I mean, I think this is what I want to get to eventually. No, I'll save it. But I think that there is a strategic way for you to acknowledge where you are and get yourself out that box.
Mm-hmm.
Like
to get in the box.
Exactly. You got to get out to get in.
See what I did there?
You got to zoom out. But Cleveland, how do you feel about that? Have you ever been considered the nice guy, and how did that make you feel in terms of your positioning?
Yeah, so I've been considered the nice guy a lot. I think when I was younger, I took the nice guy as more complimentary because I think I was less jaded by my dating experiences to know that like it wasn't necessarily a good thing. But then as I grew and started dating in my adult life, I was real hip to the nice guy comments. Like, oh, you're so nice. I'm like, all right, I ain't calling you no more.
Yeah.
Not taking you no more. It's over.
It's a euphemism for friend zone.
Exactly. Nah, I'm not. Yo, and it got to a point where I had to start doing that because like I was a nice guy. Like I'm not your little friend. Like I'm not going to be your little friend. If we dating, like we're going to date, but I'm not really out to make like buddies at this area.
I got enough friends
in my life.
I'm Pulpit Papi. What did you think this was going to be?
Oh, he's not there. He's Pew Hefner on the date.
Oh yeah, that was Pew Hefner day.
It's like we could be cool, but like literally, like nah, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time and effort to be your nice friend.
What are we cool for? Why am I here? I didn't meet you to be cool. I didn't talk to you to be cool. So like, why I want to be? I got friends that I'm cool with already. Like they've been my friends for.
That's when you got to just be honest, though. Like literally, that's when you just got to say this is not what I want out of this relationship. This is my expectation. If that's I respect that. But
I don't get fined.
That's another.
And I didn't want to be friends up front.
That's that boundary though, but that's like what Cleveland said is the boundary.
That's why you're not nice, James. That's why you're not nice.
No, that's being nice. Actually, no matter what the situation was, I was an honest person. So everyone knew up front what my intentions were.
At the melting pot, like, look, this ain't going to be much of a...
We're not going far. There we go. That's what made me a nice guy. My intentions are always out there up front, no matter what the intentions were.
Correct.
I might not have been direct saying I just want to do this, but I always said I'm not looking for nothing serious. Don't expect it. Not even a month from now, when you think things are great, I'm not gonna look for it. So if you want that, I'm gonna
because
be
I'm
out.
smiling.
James
smiling.
James pull up to the court like, I just try to play 21. I ain't really.
Yeah, basically.
Yo, but I'm
I ain't
playing
trying to run a
Pop.
full.
But I was even like that with Jess when we first started talking and started dating. I told her I didn't want anything. It obviously turned out differently.
That's a lie. After that date, y'all first date, when she pulled the check on you, you came back and was like,
no.
Oh my God,
that was the first date that we had conversations well before that.
Oh, okay, my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon me,
I mean, I would say more so like the nice guy stuff in Cleveland. You could understand me on this one. Is like work with me.
Why can Cleveland work?
Because I worked with him. We actually worked together, so I like witnessed it. Yeah, like where it's like him and I would vent to each other about work, and then after I left, it was like they had him boxed in, and it's like they'll think when you that nice at work, they think people just think they can say whatever they want to say or do whatever, and you like, hold on, like, wait a minute, I ain't that like nice and like
and a pushover is
completely different. Being able, people sometimes associate being nice with you being able to disrespect me.
Facts.
And I've had to deal with that currently, like even with my business and the things that I've dealt with, and y'all already know that story behind it, where it's like, oh, you think because I used some sense and that I decided to make a different decision or go a different path, that I'm less of a man, like, or I'm less of a person, like
take my kindness or my niceness as a weakness. Don't do that.
Like, not
KV,
quite.
KV, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a nice guy. Now I think about it, like we talk about
now I think about it. Just give me a couple minutes.
I'm a nice guy, man. I'm a really nice guy, man. And I tell people that all the time. Like I don't, and especially when I feel like when people really like try to disrespect you or try to like make you flex, however that is called or whatever they call it. It's a learning opportunity. You know what I mean? It's a real learning opportunity for, you to let that person know how you truly feel about it. And however you decide to do that, in whichever manner makes sense for you. And to leave a mark on that person's spirit and idea and memory to never do that again. Like,
see, that's big boy talk, Kev.
I was about to say,
that's big boy talk.
I wasn't mature at the time. When I was
But no, I tell people I'm a nice guy, man. My little brother though, he's different. He's not so nice. You know what I mean? Like that's just how So, but I'm a nice guy. I'm a really like I think because I'm empathetic. That's a big part of that. Even when I don't want to be, I put myself in a position where, I try to walk away from a position where no one's left harmed. And it's a thing about just connecting with people in that way. So. I feel that, so it's like, even when I'm growing at it, I'm learning to temper it. I'm learning to bring that volume down a little bit, where it's like, okay, sometimes you just have to not be a nice guy, quote unquote, or be stern, rather. Be stern is a better way of saying that. And be stern about how you feel and what you need and which those moments are needed. So just learning the volume of that, learning to, use that appropriately, is also a growth too. So
do y'all think that there is, we've alluded to it, do you think that you could be a nice guy in quotes and be upfront, like when James just lied to us and said that that's what he was doing? Do y'all think that it's possible to actually achieve that?
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah,
talk to me about it, James.
I just told you,
James.
Well, James and I had kind of the similar like scale rubric. I probably didn't say as much upfront as he did, but there was a point in time where I just, probably my Sherm days, I was like, all right, look.
You do get to a point where it's like, all right, this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So, because I think the experiences of finishing last, so to speak, because that's the question, right? Make you now, okay, well, I have to change that because I ain't like that feeling. I ain't like what happened.
Right.
Because in your brain, you like, oh, they got me fucked up. Like, that's how, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they out the box to get in the box.
Yeah, like, you see what I'm saying? So I think in that case, you can be, because like Kev says, like who you are, the core of you, and you're empathetic. But again, that's where I have to create the boundary line of like, I'm a nice guy, I'm empathetic, but don't think we're gonna go to this level or go over here with
Yeah. This is the thing that I was going to allude to earlier. I feel like in my younger years, I would have described myself as a nice guy, but I think you had to get strategic. And I began to watch other people's mistakes. Case in point, here's a good example. We always talk about the girl that's turning dudes down for the dance. I'm not about to be so bold to think that I'm going to change her narrative. I'm not. No, I might be victim number 17 that night. So you learn from his mistake and you go find somebody else to dance with. So I kind of pinpointed, like, it sucks to say. Now, ladies, I'm not trying to say this in the wrong way, but just hear me out. It's almost like women loved when you played games. 100%. And I was like, all right, so this is what y'all want? Bet. I can be vague. I can definitely not give you what you want. And this is with me having all of this stuff inside of me in terms of like being romantic and stuff. But I'm like, you know what? You're not going to get that. And the fucked up part about that is that worked to my advantage. And it sucks.
It's learned behavior, bro. It's like, it's literally learned behavior. It's like, okay, so if I don't text you back for a couple of days, it makes you want.
Now you want me
more. Like, that's learned behavior. Like, we not just making this stuff up. So is it game? Like, is it a game? If it's like, this is she reacts.
But I think that works on young. Well, at least I think. I don't know. I don't know scientific fact behind there.
You go
no scientific fact here, but I think that works on younger individuals than it does on older ones. So older people tend to don't have time for that. Maybe they've experienced something that they know that they want, and that's what they're looking for. When you're younger, you may not have gotten through too many experiences yet, so you're still trying to figure out what you want. So maybe
I don't think it's that cut and dry. I don't think it's that cut and dry. I think what Cleveland was saying, sometimes people, and it's not just like, I like games, that's what I do. It's like they're used to chasing a guy or having to garner this guy's attention. They like dudes who are sought after, right? The dudes that they're trying to go after are pretty popular. So if they give you if you get their attention and you're not about that, you're like, I'm not trying to play no games, and you are attentive and you text back quickly.
Reliable.
Oh, he a fuck boy. He a loser. He corny.
I hate that phrase.
Reliability. Reliability is like a turnoff in dating certain types of women. Not all women. I don't want to generalize, but if you're reliable, oh my gosh, then you better believe you're going to be the nice guy. You're going to be.
How you
would you believe that he volunteered to pick me up from work?
It's home training, bro. Everybody don't got the same home training. A lot of, I won't say a lot, but there's a quite high number of women who were not trained properly, old school training. Like, we all had old school training. Like, our parents taught us like the rules and things of that nature, open doors, manners. Like I said, the bar is so low, bro. It's so low. And
well, I wouldn't be this wouldn't be the Juxtaposition podcast if we didn't flip it, at least briefly, temporarily. Have you been in a position where a girl was perfect for you and you were like, nah, nope?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, it's hard for me to answer because you never really know. No, you never.
The person who's perfect for us, we supposed to be with, right? We married.
That's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that
different timing.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. Different timing, but you never really know that because you didn't really give it a chance. That person that you might have thought was perfect for you was probably the worst person in the world, and that's why you're with who you're with now, because that's the person that's perfect for you.
Let me modify the question. Have you in your travels encountered a woman you're like, yo, she's a good girl, like she might be worth settling down with, but you're like, not in 2012. Won't catch me. I'm gingerbread man.
I've been in a serious relationship where there was on paper nothing wrong with the person. She was a good woman. The timing definitely wasn't right, but then also what I discovered throughout time is that like it wasn't just the timing. It literally was other factors I was ignoring, like, because like you got to realize, like when you transition in dating, like you kind of date as a young man, let's say like early 20s, You date in like mid-20s and you date again if you're close to 30, like if you haven't found the one yet, you're at completely different points in your life during that time. Mm-hmm. So like what you thought was good when you were 25, when you're 28, you're like, nah, that wasn't it. Like they had X, Y, and Z, but A, B, and C was so far off that I was just ignoring it because X, Y, and Z was so tough. Like, so you eventually land with, I believe you can eventually land with who you're supposed to be with.
Cleveland, like, yo, when you're 30, you don't even care if she missing teeth. Like,
I was about to say Cleveland
questions. Like, yo,
Cleveland pulling up the blanket to look at the toes. Like, nah.
Right. Boomerang reference for those who don't know.
Yeah, buddy. I would say, now that I think about it, like, I would say I don't think the perfect for me, but I would say I've been in a situation where, like, let's say we've talked, we started dating or maybe messing around. It's like timing was wrong, it's off, and I was like, damn, kind of feel bad. Like, this ain't really gonna go nowhere right now. But like, I know that person's like a really cool person, a good person, I have your back, but this ain't it right now.
I definitely blazed through a few good girls, girlfriend material, as they would call it, wifey material. Not today, ma'am. This is not it. You know what? I'm so happy you drove 60 miles to see me, but sorry. I'm sorry. But speaking about like being honest, I think in the days of being perceived as a nice guy, here's the one caveat. If you think you're a nice guy, whenever you kind of have a little bit more leeway. I can speak for myself. If you were considered a nice guy and you were honest, they're like, oh, okay. They kind of respected it more. So I took full advantage of my honesty. Like if Shorty was driving an hour and some change to come see me, that don't mean nothing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bring dinner with you.
I ain't got it.
Quarter pounder of cheese, no pickles, Sprite like ice.
That's for me. What you wanted something? We can go back around on the drive-through.
Nah, but when I talked about honesty early on, it was more about like choice. So I thought I was doing like someone a favor and letting them know what it was. So like you have the choice. So that kind of takes me out of being the bad guy if you catch feelings and I told you up front that I didn't want that, and then I back James, off or back away.
If you're such a nice guy, this is a question for you. If you are considered a nice guy, are you okay with you dating her, but her also dating other people?
Yes.
And you know it?
Yes, because I was also dating other people.
That don't mean you got to be fair. That don't mean you fair.
That's that.
No,
fair?
That when was I call you, seriously. Be ready.
So that was me being honest. Like, listen, like, you know, I may still kick it with other people. I just, you know, because we're not a thing. So we're not. If I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship.
X.
Right. That's something completely different. But if I'm not in a relationship, then, you know, you can kind of do what you want. But that also goes to her. She can do what she wants.
So do y'all agree with that?
Of course.
Yeah, I just don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to know the details or anything, but I'm just saying, I'm not getting upset.
Just conversation is what the transparency of the relationship is what I agree with. I agree with having conversations, stating where you are, what you're looking for, what you're trying to do, and giving that person a choice. I agree.
But to be honest, right?
Oh, now we're getting honest.
No. So, but like because when I said I don't want to know about it, but this hasn't happened to me. But if you fall into that situation where you trying to chill with her and she just keep kind of saying, no, I'm busy, that gotta mess with your mental.
No, but in terms of that question you guys proposed, she's just not ready. And that's fair too. Like realistically, if she's doesn't mean, you know, I think that's actually interesting. I never thought about that perspective. If you're not ready, but you allow her to not be ready and you still allow her to enjoy herself while she's waiting. Like, do you still wait? Do you still hang around? How long do you wait?
Don't. I'm out.
Did you kick with somebody else?
You mean like the same day or like through
you really
no, the catch point. Like if it's not if I feel her like she's my John, like, but she's not ready to be locked down, I can't stay away for you.
You gotta psych yourself out now you don't like her. Like, I ain't like her anyway.
I know you be hurt on the low, listening to R&B on the way to work. You be hurt.
You loud. You be making stuff.
You know I hate that.
Yeah, and like I don't want to make it seem like, but at least for me, I can't speak for y'all that like I never had my heart broken or someone never played me or I never looked like the fool and nothing like that.
That's how I know you're not a nice guy.
I don't want to.
I haven't had mine either.
I've had my wallet broken though.
You said you never had that experience, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said I don't want to make it seem like that's the case. I don't want to make it seem like I just my younger days just was the man of the no, it wasn't like that. I'm just saying, just speaking my little truths.
So Alonzo, even though I asked you not to speak about this nice guy situation,
because you wasn't gonna leave me out.
He swear he a nice guy. And what, twirling?
Yup.
As we wrap up this specific topic, I know that a lot of dudes find themselves either being on the 2-yard line of the friend zone or already knee deep in the friend zone if they don't want to be there. If there are some nice guys listening who are on the precipice of being thrust into the friend zone, what are some action items that you can give them to kind of back away and assess the situation so they don't end up being a bestie?
The first thing I would say is value yourself, know what you want. Like, know what you want, and if you're not getting what you want, value yourself enough to exit that situation.
You sound like you advocating for strong, independent men.
Yeah, man. Like, you gotta take that.
Know your worth.
You gotta take that. Know your worth. But then also, I would say, be honest, man. Like, I think honesty was like a key of what everyone was saying. I think be honest with the person that you're dating, and hopefully she's being honest with you, and then things can progress as they should once everyone is open and honest.
I have a question now that you said that. What if you are a nice guy and you do find out that she's lying to you? What do nice guys do?
Nice guys cut her off. Like,
you about to say cut her tires?
Nah.
Now Pulpit Papi.
Just cut her off. Like, honestly, like if she's being dishonest and like manipulating or whatever,
dishonest,
using you, then all right, well, we don't got to talk no more. I think the thing to realize is, especially if you are really truly a nice guy, it ain't too many real good nice guys out there, and there are women who are looking for good, real nice guys. So chances are you're gonna find somebody else.
Go ahead, Kev.
I say you continue to be a nice guy. Okay.
That is very mature.
Not with her. No.
I mean, don't change who you are.
Oh, okay.
For her, but you gotta identify that she's not for you.
Right.
And don't waste all your goodness and nice personalities into something that's not gonna receive it well. And I think it just don't make sense to do that. So
I like where you're going, Kev.
Before we wrap it up, now I have a good segue. Has there been a woman or women that have taken you from being a nice guy to being toxic? Has there ever been a woman that made you alter your behavior in the way that you treated her based on the way you treat women after her?
Definitely.
Don't say no names, please, because y'all don't want nobody to get in trouble. But
I mean, is that a true? No, not really. I think you just learn how to deal with people accordingly. Hopefully you learn from your mistakes in the way of how much you expose yourself, and maybe when you move too fast. I can't really say like that I've really been in that real scenario, but I think I'm speaking from a position of it. Listen, man. I was just telling somebody the other day, real short. He made a comment, foreign Haitian guys try to come at me because I'm tall. That's why I made the comment earlier about being tall. So he came me with man, you should be in the NBA. I said, listen, man. I said, look, not everything's for everybody.
Check this out, Playboy.
Right. So listen, man, not everything's for everybody. You know what I mean? Essentially, it's like, yo, how many? Pretty much, I asked him, like, you mean to tell me every woman you admired and liked you back? Like, no, it was a. And if you say yes, you're a liar. You know what I mean? So my point is that like not everything's for everybody. So recognize that, but don't demean yourself. I'm a component of not changing who you are for the liking of other person. Now, if the experience was taunting because you might have gave her your check in the book and you was just generous enough to say, hey, here's my credit card, go have a great time, and then she burned you, then I was like, okay, don't do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that didn't work out.
I mean, so anyway, point of the matter is try not to change too much, but recognize that someone is not for you. That doesn't necessarily mean change up who you are, in my opinion.
Right.
I feel like just gotta be able to have a way to pick up on what's right, who's receiving, what your gifts are, and move on.
So
go ahead, Cleveland.
I have definitely been in a situation where the actions of someone got toxic, the relationship got toxic, and as a result of that, my treatment towards women in relationships was like extremely
altered,
man. Like honestly, like I didn't take anything at face value anymore. Like, so the thing is like it sounds good, like I can speak about it in a very calm way now, because but in all actuality I had to heal from that, because when you are in a situation and you're optimistic about the situation and you're kind of open to what the situation could be, and then things take a left, like you don't really know how to reconcile that, and you don't really know that the damage that has done until afterwards. And then you're getting attention from other women afterwards, and it's like, yeah, I had this kind of attention before, and X, Y, and Z happened. So I'm gonna let this rock. Like, we gonna chill, we gonna hang out, but I'm not gonna like show you like my inner me, like, you know.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing, because I was going to share my story, because I've been in a situation where it only took for one girl to have me fucked up for me to be like, oh, nah, no, fool me once, shame on me, won't be me again. And it was a couple year run where I was dealing with all women who were like amazing quality, but I knew they weren't going to stick. But it's because of my experience with one. I'm like, no, I'm not. I am consciously not indulging in anything serious. I don't care how fiery you are. And it took for somebody to break through in order for me to be like, oh shit, I was wilding. But it wasn't specifically toxicity, but it was more like, oh no, we're not doing this again. We definitely not doing this again.
Yeah, that's the vibe right there. Like, oh nope, not again. And any indicator of that, the smallest indicator of again, you turn around.
It's a red flag, instant red flag. I've had that instant red flag where I was like,
I know a moment when Var was a Splash Brother Papi for sure.
Ooh.
You a Splash Brother Papi, bro.
He's correct. He's correct.
Oh my God.
Splash Brother Papi.
It was around that time. It was around that time. I'm on offense at all times. I'm not passing the ball.
It was something I've never seen ever before, bro. I never, you know how you see a magical performance at the Oracles, like, yo, you know those moments where Dub Nations went crazy and that energy that they talked about. Yeah, I seen that in living form. I said, oh,
that's it. Yeah,
those were the days.
I mean,
as we say, those were the days.
The days, yeah. I was say I've had that. Like I said, I've had someone that made me say like who they were was the criteria. Like, now I know what I don't want. So like, if you're gonna, I'm gonna shy away from that. Like, you do anything odd or something that reminds me of that, which is like you said, it might turn you away. And it's bad because I hate it when it was done to me. But that person, when it was done to me, they just kept saying it like, yo, but this person, like, all right, hold up. For me to think it and just act accordingly is way different than for me to continue to badger you and say, like, well, my ex or this person, like, I would never do that. It was crazy. I've dealt with that on that end, but I would say I definitely had one, like I said, one major one, y'all know, but that changed my, like, I want to say who I am, but
now you traumatized with people walking past TVs.
Let's just say it heightened my pet peeve that just is not even, I don't even know if pet peeve is a word. I think it's too light of a word to what it made me now. Like,
yeah, she made you take it out on your friends too. Going back to the actionable items. Any feedback y'all have for dudes who might fall into the friend zone, and how to avoid that, how to get around that?
As some people said, man, just set those boundaries up front for yourself, not necessarily with that person. Just know your own boundaries and what you're willing to accept and not accept. And once they cross whatever line it is, just step away. Don't keep trying to go for something that you know is not going to be there. Right? That's what I think.
I would say don't force the issue. I would say when you getting in, like engaging in these situations, have a scale in your mind. This like everybody doesn't operate like this, but it might help some who need to, so to speak. So like have a how many date maximum, like a cutoff time before I realize like this ain't going nowhere or something like that, or how many times that you call, they don't answer, but they call you, you answer off rip, and then they ask for some food, like something like that. Like have it a scale, like pay attention to those signs, but have a scale, have a dollar amount. Like, yo, if I blow this amount of money and I don't, like according to James said, I don't get nothing in return, then not to say that spending money results in a requirement, but I'm just saying whatever it is that you, the individual, want out of that situation.
Somebody gonna be listening to this, like, I mean, I spent $15, she let me beat, so.
But listen, if that's your boundary, if that's you're never gonna get anything, right? But if that's your boundary, that's your listen. If 15 is your max, that's your max.
Word up.
You know what I mean? You stretch it, make it work. But if that's your boundary,
that's your boundary. But have that in your head. I think if you have those boundary lines in your head, that'll save you from being stuck in the boundary zone.
All right. How about you, Kev? What advice do you have for my man that's about to fall into the friend zone?
The friend zone may not be a bad look, because I'm gonna tell you why.
That's your place. That's your place.
I'll tell you why. Because
backdoor routine.
If she's bad, she has bad friends. Okay.
Oh, talk about it, my man. Okay. Talk about it, my man.
And
it's not always true, but
in some cases, I get that. Some cases, people, but you can always assume, most people flock to get the flock. Yeah. So, just, show who you are. Show your qualities of being a friend. Show those qualities, and maybe she'll put you on. But also recognize that you are in the friend zone, and but keep that long-term investment idea of knowing that she could potentially lead you to the water.
That's a whole podcast episode in itself.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because we can talk more about
I've had proximity to the water a few times. My actionable item is young brother, have options. That's it. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket, or don't put all your nuts in one basket either. Have some options. That don't mean you having sex with everybody, but don't allow yourself to be pigeonholed in any regard. If you're feeling her, she's not feeling you. You saying how much you feel her ain't gonna change the narrative. You gonna have to, if she's your friend, you care about her, stick around, but you're gonna need to get some other options. That's just what it is.
Var just said just cheat.
He's not with her. He's not with her.
Wow.
I know.
It's not his piece.
And according to James, right? So Kev said that they may have some friends, but I know James was with this specific person, and he said that all her friends was ugly.
That's the thing. James is not debating it, disputing it. Like, I mean, they were.
Nah, he said,
I mean, that situation, yeah. That's what I mean. Not all the time, Sometimes you get the best of the bunch.
Yeah,
that's true.
That could happen.
Transitioning to our next segment. This is the second installment of the Chef's segment. We call this Hint of Health. So, KV, it is all on you, brother.
Man, I do appreciate you guys for allowing this to come back into to real form. Today's featured segment is Apple of My Eye on October 21st, 2020. And this actually is inspired by just a lot going on in everyone's time. My time, I feel like the Justice League's time. I feel like just people's time. So just understanding the power of autonomy, routine autonomy. And when I say routine autonomy, I'm talking about ways of kind of staying afloat during these unprecedented times, as COVID and as the virus is still kind of afloat and is kind of like in the air. So let me just remind everybody about some of these COVID updates. And, the total cases for the United States is 8,249,000. Total deaths, we're about 220,362. Just to kind of run down the top 5 states is Texas, Illinois, Wisconsin, California, and Florida. Okay, ranges are between 33,000 to about 21,000. So it was a range of number of cases in those top 5 states. So today's brought as an interesting point because having autonomy means finding something in your day-to-day lifestyle that you can attribute to yourself and to your behaviors and to prevent yourself from falling short between whatever health goals you may have in place. And even if you don't have a particular health goal in place now, being healthy should be a mindful thing that you should pretty much practice as best you can, right? And there's ways you can do that can lead to bigger health goals. So one of the things I want to talk about is Americans spending way too much sitting down, right? We spend way too much time just sitting down on average time, right? 1 in 4 Americans sit more than 8 hours a day. And if you work 8 hours and during this time, you're sitting most of that time. Given there's breaks in between and you get up to use the bathroom, but most of the time we're really having seats and sitting down. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're listening to us, I'm sure you're sitting down, right? I'm sure you're relaxed and that's just part of our lifestyle, right? So finding ways, to combat like certain ways of that, so certain things are preventing you from potentially reaching goals, maybe non-detrimental to your health, but there's ways to support, just areas where there may be barriers for you to reach the things that you actually want to reach, which is the goal. So there was a study that was published in the Journal of Medical Association in 2018 in November, titled Joint Prevalence of Sitting Time and Leisure Time Physical Activity Among U.S. Adults. Study was done just to pretty much get an understanding of, how many people sit in real time. So out of 6,000 people that registered for this study, about 25% said that they spent more than 8 hours sitting and weren't really being physically active at the same time. So there's a double whammy in that space when you think about it, because, most not only are you not being physically active, but then you're doing a lot of time just sitting. So just be more conscious. So if you're at work, or if you're working from home, then take 10 minutes to walk around the block. And those times add up, like take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to clear your head, get some fresh air, make it a focus. The power of walk is so powerful in a way of, explaining that. But just kind of understanding how to go about doing that is important to break up the day cycle. So the negative effects of health are due to the combinations of what sitting does to the body. People sit so much, this is kind of like visually, don't hurt yourself too badly, but people are starting to look like they sit down, you know what I mean? But it's just a thing. So there's risk factors for heart diseases and other things that come into nature. So just be more mindful about how sitting is a thing. And some people may doubt this, but there's some researchers that are saying that studies kind of equivalent to smoking when it comes to the wide range of health problems that are caused and that it triggers. Like study shows that people who spend more time sitting have higher rates of heart problems, right? So like, honestly, I'm sure with time on our hands, I know I'm about 3.5 minutes in, and I really want to encourage today that we take some time to maybe like try something a little differently, get you guys up for like 90 seconds. So I'm going to challenge you to take part in this quick 90-second segment on the hint of health, how we can kind of introduce some physical activity into your life. This is 90 seconds. General guidelines say about 150 minutes a week, of general, some form of activity that you're considered to kind of be on the right page and on the right track. So I want to introduce that. All right, so I'm going to give out a free t-shirt from our Juxtaposition Podcast t-shirt to anybody that posts this and tag our Instagram. All right, of you actually doing this. All right, you do this, and then I will show you a t-shirt. All right, and that's on the house. That's on us. So what you got to do now is calf raises for 30 seconds. All right, just come off the balls of your feet and just come up and down. All right, so all you want to do again is just lift off the heels, come back down, come right back up. All right, just keep working. We're going to do this for another 15 seconds. All right, and then we'll switch to the next exercise. Most important thing here is to breathe. All right, as you're doing exercise, you always want to breathe and control your breathing as best you can. All right, in your nose, out your mouth, find rhythm, find comfort, and recover and release stress. We're going to shut it down in 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go grab some knee grabbers right now. All right, grab your knees, bring it to your chest. All right, it's a nice quick stretch. All right, it stretches out the hamstring, it stretches the glutes, gets the hip flexors moving. It's just a good way to kind of like break up the hip flexor from sitting down all day. All right, so this is a good way to like, get some cardio in based on how fast you want to do it. You can turn it up, you can turn it down, all based on how you feel. All right, you got about 5 seconds, and we'll go into the next exercise in 3, 2, and time. Heel grabbers is next. All right, grab your heel and flex. Using it to bend at the hip flexor. So grab the heel, bring it to the opposite leg, and stay nice and tall. All right, this is kind of like a nice hip flexor. Again, you can do this, right between your breaks, right? Find a balance. Take your time. Try not to overdo the stretch, right? Try to find comfort in your stretch. Nice work. And then try to challenge your hip flexor. All right, we're going to shut that down in 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, right? And right there is enough that you can do to get your body going. And that's 90 seconds. So I just gave you 90 seconds for free just now. So you got about 148 and a half to go. You can just break it up throughout the week. So by next Wednesday, you post this, tag us. All right. We'll send you a shirt.
First person.
How many? How many people? First,
limit the first 3 people to tag.
Okay,
and post.
there we go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the whole Instagram gonna be asking for shirts.
All right.
No, that's fire. Like, and I think that it's ultra relatable because most people are working from home still.
Mm-hmm.
At least most folks I would imagine listening to this podcast. So I'm gonna take these considerations my damn self, and I sit down way too much when I start grinding. Yeah, man.
And not only are they working from home, but they probably eating way more than they would normally because they just at the crib, keep walking past the kitchen. So here's something to offset that for a little bit.
KV, I got a question for you. So that 140 minutes, if it's does it have to be in large clumps of time, or does your body respond if it's in like aggregate, like 10 minutes 3 times a day, each day, or something like that?
Man, I'm gonna honestly, there's a lot of evidence to show that you don't have to put it in one sitting. But the focus is the aftermath of exercise. That's where the benefits happen. So if you're increasing your heart rate 84% or more over a 12 to 20 minute time frame, your body has to recover, right? Your body has to go through a recovering phase, and that's kind of where the magic really happens, right? So your body's going to go through any intensive labor. That's an adjustment. But there's studies to show that doesn't necessarily matter if you clunk it up in one time, but there's more benefits to clunking up in one time because obviously there's more exerted energy over a period of time, and it's cardio now is factored in, and you burn fat faster. Like it's just more expedited. The process is a faster process to using energy in that moment versus like spreading it across if you did the same amount of time over like a day, essentially, like you're still doing it, but it's not as happening as the rates aren't as quick or as fast, rather. They're just a slower rate of metabolism, essentially, right?
Fire.
Key takeaways is get at least 150 minutes of physical activity, support your immune system in any case with a routine that's sustainable for you. I stand like at work, for the most part. I try to, and I sit down sometimes, but I thought about being more intentional by standing. I was someone who hasn't really come off like I came off a hiatus and working out. I took a month off, and I know it sounds like not a lot, but it is a lot, because after a month psychologically, it starts to become more difficult, right? Not just physically. I can maintain. I think after a month, you still are able to maintain at least 70% of what you were able to do before your last visit, but mentally becomes more of a challenge because now you're creating a new behavioral routine, so start off slow, like start off really, really slow, like and encourage yourself. And I stand because it's work. And I know it takes time. So I move a lot when I'm here because I'm actually stretching or I'm bobbing back and forth. We had a couple of people in our Justice League who wanted to pull up on us, but we here because of we stand and fortunately I got this mat that takes off the impact off, but so we move a lot, but we encourage y'all to take the time throughout your day to move and that sense of health.
That was fire, bro. I always love to see when you can take your passion and articulate it in a very digestible way. And like, it's really interesting to see how that manifests in real life. So keep killing them, bro. That was great.
21 minutes a day. 21 minutes a day. So
in that same in that same vein, going over to Wendell of Opportunity, aka Pasake's Picks, aka the stock pick of the week, aka Bag Talk. Go ahead, brother.
No, so not necessarily this week a stock pick, just general information about the market, specific company, in terms of what's going on in the industry. So I'm not sure if you guys heard at this point in time, or maybe you will hear by the time this podcast is released. But the new kind of technological company that was up and coming, Quibi, is now shutting down. So, that's something that we always got to think about within this current environment with this pandemic, the economic conditions that is happening. Everyone is kind of staying home, and Quibi was based on like a 5 to 10 minute chapter type programs that was and tailored towards your phone. And it was meant for you to watch it on the go. So when people are commuting to work, to and from work, just walking around, whatever the case is, you can watch a 5 to 10 minute video or movie in chapters, and that was what it was for. But with the pandemic, I have to assume that since people are home, they're watching more Netflix, Hulu, other streaming services, so it kind of hurt them. So they basically shut the company down, and they did it. I commend them, I guess, because the company was just losing a ton of money, and the founders wanted to give back most or as much as they possibly can back to the people who invested in them. So they shut it down, laid off all their employees. The employees will get some type of severance, which is, I guess that's a good thing that they're doing that for them. But they want to get back as much money as possible to the investors, which, ultimately, I guess that's the right thing to do instead of just constantly losing money, hoping that one day they'll start making money or that it'll at least break even. So that's with that. So, don't look out for any Quibi IPOs or anything like that in the future. Unfortunately, that particular company shut down. And if you did subscribe to them, make sure you're not taking any more money from you. So just keep a lookout on that. And also update on Tesla, released their earnings. They had another quarter of growth, another quarter of in the black. So they were profitable for the third quarter. I believe their net income was about 331 million, which, compared to other companies such as like Bank of America, who had $2.2 billion in net income for the third quarter, it doesn't sound like a lot. But that's a lot for Tesla, especially now that they have 5 consecutive quarters of being in the black. So again, that sexy pick, go ahead and probably continue to invest in that because it's still doing well.
Will be Tesla Travaris come like May of next year.
I'm right behind you, bro.
So in that seed right now.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
Right now.
You want to buy one?
Yeah. I'm right behind you.
All right, so we're about to get out of here, but going over to Zoe for the Serenity Prayer, and pardon him for his jokes today because I know he's supposed to be the prayer guy, but we have balance here. We have balance.
That's the position.
Juxtaposition.
Before we get to that, I definitely want to remind the fans to post a video up doing the exercise, the 90 seconds.
Yes.
And
tag Instagram. Tag the Instagram.
The first 3 people.
Juxtaposition.Pod on Instagram. Juxtaposition.Pod.
Your story or your whatever. We just need to see it.
We got to
spelled how it sounds.
You get a shirt. And then also remember to
72 hours.
Yes. Remember to vote, but this time we're asking you to vote for the name for Mr. Cleveland on the
is it
page.
Pew Hefner? Is it Lil Saint? Is it Pulpit Papi? What are we going
with?
SchoolBoy Pew.
SchoolBoy
Pew. Yeah, which one? Please vote for that name. We need that vote, and that election is right now. Okay, so vote right now, and then eventually y'all can go on and place your ballots for the real election. But make sure y'all get ours in first. With that said, I hope everyone have a good week going forward. Stay positive, stay healthy, stay motivated, and stay financially smart. We want to ask God to give us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
Amen.
Amen.
That was episode 20. On behalf of Arsenio Hall, CEO, Moneybag Yo, KV the Chef, Podcast Papi / Pew Hefner / Pulpit Papi / Do It for Lil Saint. And we'll see y'all next week.
I like
Peace.
Do It for Lil Saint. Hilarious.